Fire release, the power of flames. Fire release, the essence of the Leaf Village. Let's dive in. In Konoha, fire isn't just an element, it's practically in the villagers' DNA. If you pay attention, you'll notice that a lot of ninjas from the Leaf can breathe fire like it's second nature. The Sarutobi clan, for instance, is famous for their fire techniques. And the Uchiha? Well, for them, spitting a massive fireball is basically a family tradition, almost like a rite of passage. But here's the thing. Just being able to spit out a fireball doesn't make you a fire release master. Anyone can do that. To truly master it, you have to turn fire into a force of nature, something unstoppable. Something catastrophic. And the person who did that better than anyone else? Of course, it's Madara Uchiha. Sure, Sasuke and Itachi are also monsters when it comes to fire jutsu. Their black flames of Amaterasu burn eternally and can incinerate anything in their path. But Amaterasu isn't pure fire release. It's a Mangekyo Sharingan ability, insanely powerful. But it comes with brutal side effects. Your eyesight deteriorates. Your chakra drains rapidly. And it's not something you can use freely in battle. Obito, on the other hand, had some stylish combos, mixing fire release with Kamui to create whirlwinds of flame. But honestly, fire was never his main game. His true power came from Kamui, the 10 tails, and Hashirama's cells. The fire was just there to make things look cooler. Madara, though, he's a different breed. He didn't use fire for flair. He turned it into a weapon of mass destruction. Take his great fire annihilation technique. It wasn't just a jutsu. It was a wall of flame that could wipe out entire platoons during the Fourth Great Ninja War. The fire was so immense that dozens of water release users had to join forces to counter it. And even then, they only managed to create a dense fog of steam that swallowed the entire battlefield. That's how massive Madara's chakra output was. And it wasn't just about power. Madara's versatility with fire was on another level. Fire Dragon Flame Bullet. Fire Dragon Song Technique. You name it, he could spew flames in multiple directions, making it almost impossible for enemies to dodge. He'd vanish into the ashes, exhaled toxic smoke clouds that blinded and choked his opponents. And with just one breath, he could set an entire forest ablaze. Other ninjas had to measure their chakra, wait for the right opening. Madara? He breathed fire like breathing air, endless, effortless, unstoppable. In the world of Naruto, fire release often gets dismissed as a weaker element, flashy. Sure, but not as dangerous as lightning or earth. Yet, Madara shattered that perception. Even the cage trembled before his flames. He took something common and elevated it to divine status. So, if we're talking about fire release in its purest, most destructive, godlike form, Madara Uchiha stands at the top. Others saw fire as a tool. Madara made it a natural disaster. That's the difference between a strong ninja and a god of war. Lightning release, the explosive power of thunder. Lightning release, the element of raw energy and pure destruction. It's one of the most powerful chakra natures in the entire Naruto universe, fast, sharp, and paralyzing. When you think of lightning release, a few names probably come to mind immediately. Kakashi Hatake, the Copy Ninja, the Fourth Raikage, the living lightning bolt of the Hidden Cloud, Killer Bee the Lightning Blade Rapper Ninja, and, of course, Sasuke Uchiha, the prodigy who became the King of Thunder. So, who's the strongest lightning release user? Let's break it down. First up, the Fourth Raikage. He's basically a lightning-powered tank. The guy covers his entire body with lightning chakra mode, boosting his speed and strength to absurd levels. At full power, he's almost as fast as Minato, the Yellow Flash, and he even dodged Sasuke's Amaterasu. That's insane. But here's the catch. His use of lightning is straightforward. He mainly channels it into his body for speed and power boosts, no fancy jutsu or tactical depth. He's a monster in close combat, but not exactly a strategist. His lightning enhances his body, not his mind. Then there's the Third Raikage, his father, known as the Iron Wall of the Hidden Cloud. This man fought against 10,000 shinobi alone. His skin, hardened by lightning chakra, was like steel. He used lightning release to make himself indestructible and deliver devastating blows. But like his son, his strength came from his physique and endurance more than refined control of lightning. Now, let's talk about Killer Bee, the Swordsman of Thunder. He's flashy, chaotic, and incredibly strong. By combining lightning chakra with his kenjutsu, he created a fighting style that's unpredictable and fast enough to cut through defenses. But let's be real, his true strength lies in the 8 tails sealed inside him. Without Gyuki's power, His lightning release alone doesn't put him at the top. Kakashi Hatake, on the other hand, he's a true craftsman. He invented Chidori, refined it into Reikiri, and developed countless variations. His control and precision with lightning release are unmatched. The only reason he's not the absolute strongest is because his lightning techniques are more surgical than destructive, more assassin's blade than atomic bomb. Still, in terms of understanding and mastering the lightning element itself, Kakashi's knowledge is second to none. And then, there's Sasuke Uchiha, the undisputed king of lightning release. He took Kakashi's foundation and built an empire on top of it. Chidori Senbon, Chidori Nagashi, Chidori Spear, every version expanded the limits of what lightning could do. And then came Kirin, a jutsu that summons a literal thunderstorm from the sky, guiding a real lightning strike down with godlike precision. It's not just chakra-generated lightning, it's nature itself obeying his will. One strike can obliterate everything in its path. But what truly sets Sasuke apart isn't just power, it's evolution. From a genin learning Chidori to a warrior capable of manipulating atmospheric electricity. Combining it with his Sharingan, Rinnegan, and Six Paths Chakra, Sasuke didn't just use lightning. He became lightning, swift, lethal, untouchable. So here's the verdict. The third and fourth Raikage? Powerhouses, fast and durable, but predictable. Killer Bee? Explosive and fun, but too reliant on the eight tails. Kakashi? A genius of precision, but not destruction. And Sasuke? The complete package, creativity, control, and catastrophic power. Sasuke Uchiha isn't just the strongest lightning release user, he's the embodiment of thunder itself. Water release, the power of flow. Welcome to water release, one of the most flexible and powerful chakra natures in the Naruto universe. Water can do almost anything. It can crush armies with a massive tsunami or cut stone clean with a high-pressure jet. It can adapt to offense, defense, close range, long range, whatever the situation demands. That's what makes it so terrifying in the hands of a true master. When we talk about water release legends, a few big names pop up: Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the hidden mist; Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja; Mei Terumi, the fifth Mizukage; and of course, the two real titans of the water element, Tobirama Senju and Kisame Hoshigaki. Let's start simple. Zabuza was a silent killer, a mist-born assassin. His signature was the hidden mist technique, a move that turned the battlefield into a fog of death. He wasn't the flashiest, but he understood water as a weapon of fear and control. Every drop he created became a part of his strategy: confuse, isolate, then strike. Kakashi, as always, learned quickly. Thanks to his Sharingan, he could copy dozens of water release jutsu from opponents and turn them into his own. But still, he wasn't primarily a water specialist, he was a jack of all elements. A genius with no single focus. Then there's Mei Terumi, elegance and destruction in one person. She could use not just water, but also lava and acid. Her water dragon and boil release techniques were deadly. But between all that, she wasn't purely a water release prodigy, she was more of a multi-element powerhouse. A great fighter, yes, but not the pinnacle of water mastery. Now, let's get serious. The real gods of water release are Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage, and Kisame Hoshigaki, the tail-less-tailed beast. Most water-style users need dozens of hand signs to cast a technique. For example, the Water Dragon Bullet technique, 44 hand seals. That's a death sentence in real combat. No one's going to stand still and let you finish. But Tobirama? He could perform it with 2. That's how efficient he was. The man literally invented the jutsu. He was known for precision, speed, and tactical brilliance. His water wall could block fire like a solid barrier. And his water-severing wave was so sharp it could slice through trees, rock, even the divine tree's roots. He understood the nature of water, soft yet unyielding, gentle yet lethal. He didn't overpower his enemies, he outmaneuvered them with surgical precision. Now, Kisame was the complete opposite, a storm in human form. His chakra reserves were so massive people compared him to a tailed beast. His great exploding water colliding wave could flood an entire battlefield, turning it into an ocean where he swam like a shark god. Once he created that sea, the fight was over. He controlled the terrain, the oxygen, the visibility, everything. And his water shark bomb was insane. The more chakra his opponent poured into it, the stronger it got, like feeding a predator mid-attack. Add Samahata, his chakra-eating sword, and Kisame became almost unbeatable underwater. Fighting him there was like punching a great white shark in the middle of a hurricane, hopeless. So, who's stronger? Kisame dominates in scale, his attacks are cinematic, massive, and overwhelming. Tobirama dominates in intellect, faster, sharper, more efficient. Kisame drowns you with raw power. Tobirama defeats you with mastery. If we're talking spectacle, Kisame wins. If we're talking true understanding of water, Tobirama takes the crown. Even when reanimated with limited chakra, he could still summon oceans of water inside confined spaces. Imagine what he was capable of at full strength. In short, Kisame is the storm. Tobirama is the architect of the tide. And that's what true mastery looks like, knowing how to bend nature itself to your will. Earth release, the strength of stone and gravity. Now let's move from water's fluid grace to the immovable force of earth release, the element of strength, stability, and raw endurance. When you think of earth release, one name stands above all, Onoki, the third Tsuchikage of the Hidden Stone Village. Earth release usually focuses on defense, walls, traps, ground manipulation. Most shinobi use it to create barriers or fortify their position. But Onoki? He broke that mold completely. He didn't just control earth, he controlled gravity itself. He could increase an enemy's weight until they were crushed flat, or make himself and his allies light enough to fly through the air. That's right, the man literally turned stone into flight. He could lighten sand for faster travel or give his comrades aerial vision over a battlefield. And the wildest part? This old man once helped stop a meteor summoned by Madara Uchiha, a meteor big enough to wipe out an entire country. That's no longer earth release. That's rewriting the laws of physics mid-battle. Other users, like Kakashi or Kitsuchi, could raise stone walls or create large-scale terrain attacks. But their creativity ended there. Onoki was different. He turned the battlefield into his playground, shaping, flying, and controlling weight like an artist painting with gravity. His ultimate ability, dust release, detachment of the primitive world technique, combined earth, wind, and fire into one, a shining cube of annihilation that disintegrates everything it touches at the molecular level. If it hits you, you're not just dead, you cease to exist. Only space-time ninjutsu like Kamui could save you from that. His master, Mu, the second Tsuchikage, also wielded dust release and could completely erase his presence, turning invisible. But compared to Onoki, he was less versatile. Mu was the perfect assassin. Onoki was a battlefield commander. Mu disappeared to kill. Onoki stood tall and changed the entire terrain. Even at 70+ years old, with a hunched back and a body breaking down, Onoki was still considered one of the strongest kage alive. That's how far his mastery had gone. He could no longer rely on youth or stamina. So he relied purely on genius and technique. Earth release often gets overlooked because it doesn't look flashy like fire or lightning. But in the hands of Onoki, it became art, a mix of geometry, physics, and destruction. He could fly, he could crush, and he could erase entire battlefields with one cube of pure devastation. Onoki didn't just master earth release. He redefined it. He's not just the strongest earth-style user. He's the man who set the standard so high. No one's come close since. Wind release, the power of the sky. Wind release, rare, elegant, and razor-sharp. Unlike fire or lightning, very few shinobi truly master it. But those who do, leave scars across mountains. The most iconic wind users? Naruto Uzumaki, Temari, Asuma Sarutobi, and Danzo Shimura. Each had their own way of shaping the wind, but only one reached god-tier mastery. Let's start with Asuma, calm, collected, and deadly at close range. He used wind chakra to enhance his trench knives, sharpening them to the point they could slice through steel. He was the first to teach Naruto what wind really is, nature's edge. Invisible but unstoppable. But Asuma's strength was limited to close-quarters combat. Powerful, yes, but localized. Temari, on the other hand, fought from afar. Her giant iron fan created massive gusts that could flatten forests and obliterate weaker opponents in a single swing. She excelled at area control, turning the battlefield into a storm zone. But that's also her weakness, the power spreads wide, not deep. She could crush armies but struggled against heavily armored or high-defense enemies. Then there's Danzo, the schemer. He could use some wind release moves, but they were more support techniques than real offense. His true edge came from his Sharingan collection and the forbidden Izanagi. Even his strongest wind jutsu needed help from Baku, his summoned monster that boosted airflow. So no, Danzo was never a true wind release master. And then, we reach Naruto Uzumaki, the wind reincarnate himself. He didn't just use wind, he revolutionized it. Naruto took the basic Rasengan, a spinning chakra sphere, and fused it with wind chakra to create the Rasen Shuriken. It wasn't just stronger, it was on another level entirely. Upon impact, it shredded an opponent's cells from the inside, leaving nothing but destruction. It was so dangerous that even Naruto was banned from using it at first because it harmed his own body. But did he stop there? Of course not. He mastered Sage Mode, enhanced Rasen Shuriken with natural energy, and later, with 6 paths power, evolved it into a divine weapon. He could throw them, multiply them, and even merge them with other elements. He didn't just create new techniques, he created strategies. Wind became his identity, not just a tool, but the foundation of his entire fighting style. Temari specialized in wide-range offense. Asuma specialized in close-range precision. Danzo specialized in tricks. Naruto mastered everything. He's not just a wind release user. He's the storm that reshaped the world. Thank you for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this elemental deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, where we'll explore the lost techniques of the legendary clans. Till then, stay sharp, stay curious, and keep that ninja spirit alive.